My name is Owino Steven Paul. I'm a member of the executive body of Pan-African Congress Kenya, which is the Kenyan chapter of the Global Pan-African Movement. Our national office is in Nairobi, Upper Hill off First Ngong Avenue, SK Gardens. And our global office is in Kampala, Uganda, with the Global Pan-African Movement patron, His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda. Are we truly independent Africa? I was brought up by parents who loved education. Both of them are retired primary school teachers now. They raised us on the principles of hard work, honesty, integrity, and the fear of God. They did this knowing that with such values, we will have a better society and a nation. Viva Africa, viva! Viva freedom fighters, viva! My theme today is African peace, unity, and prosperity, with the question of, are we truly independent Africa? We Africans love and care for one another under the spirit of Ubuntu. Luos would say, Jakisuma kia nono, which means the person who lacks and comes for help should not go back empty-handed. I am my brother's keeper, that my happiness is your happiness, and your problems are my problems, that our destinies are intertwined. That is the Pan-African spirit that gave birth to the name of this great city, Kisumu or Kisumu, drawn from the word Kisuma. Today, I began and have been asking question of, are we truly independent Africa? As Baba is going for African Union Commission chairmanship election. As a Pan-Africanist, I believe that all Africans need to vote to have a continental referendum that all Africans, young and those who have attained the legal age, cast their votes to elect the leader to represent us, who is right now the African Union Commission chair. Let's have a strong body, a dog with teeth to protect Mama Africa and her children within the continent and globally. However, as African Union Commission chairmanship elections are drawing around the corner, the AUC candidates are being weighted by the imperialists and neocolonialists to pledge their allegiance. They call our African nations their jewels. That is the new name of modern-day colonies. Now we have Francophones controlled by a remote switch in Paris, Anglophones controlled by America and the British, few German colonies controlled in Berlin. Some Arab nations have a sect of the Pan-Arabia. Other nations are controlled by Russia and China, meaning for one to be an African Union Commission chair, you must pledge allegiance to the imperialists, neocolonialists, and the modern-day colonialists. Most of our African presidents are controlled by the former colonies. That is why I believe all Africans should vote in an all-African election affair. Africa, let's wake up and write the destiny of our continent by ourselves. That today, somewhere in Africa, for an African to register business, they must seek approval and be approved from Paris in France. That somewhere in Africa, French have a military base in an independent African nation, and the military commander in that base is more powerful than the African president. That today, elections that are happening in our continent are hugely influenced by the neocolonialists and imperialists. They manage the propaganda, funding of the candidates, and also manipulation of how the election goes. That Pan-African events such as the celebration of African Liberation Day, the Pan-African Congresses that were initially held and organized by our liberation fighters and our forefathers as they were struggling and fighting to realize the Pan-African dream of a united, self-dependent, prosperous and peaceful Africa. That today, even in celebrating the African Liberation Days, the themes, the subjects, the topics to be discussed are always prepared by the neocolonialists and presented to our leaders so that we can follow. Africans must organize their events and be in control of their continent and their destiny without any manipulation or influence. It is a shame for our forefathers who gave their lives fighting for our liberty, freedom, and independence. Pan-African movement began in the 17th century when our forefathers rose to fight against the slavery, colonialism, now the fight against neocolonialism and imperialism. Notable figures in the early 17th century are Harriet Tubman, David Walker, Nat Turner, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Henry Sylvester William, W.E.B. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey. Malcolm X was assassinated. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. George Padmore, Jomo Kenyatta, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Tom Mboya Jack Ndiege, Kwame Nkrumah, Gabriel Haile Selassie, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, Gamal Abdel Nasser, Sekou Toure, Nelson Mandela, Kenneth Matiba, Amilcar Cabral. We also remember our Pan-African heroes who died as martyrs. Samora Machel, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, Amilcar Cabral, Assata Shakur. We also have African leaders who entered the wall of shame, like Mobutu Sese Seko. When they said we are slow, Usain Bolt shut them up. When they said we don't have the stamina, Eliud Kipchoge silenced them. When they said we can't fight, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Francis Ngannou, Floyd Mayweather, Anthony Joshua shut them up. When they questioned our football skills, George Weah, Didier Drogba, Samuel Eto'o, Rigobert Song, Kylian Mbappe, Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane silenced them. The Ghana national team was robbed their quarterfinals by a Suarez handball. When they doubted our leadership skills, our own son from Africa, from here in Kenya, and the region where we are today, President Barack Obama shut them up. When they think we can't unite as Africans, we will shut them up. Africa still suffer the problems of division, endless conflicts, the colonial borders and boundaries that are blocking us from having free trade. We need to do away with poverty, hunger, drought, flood, climate change, and the poisonous carbon emission. Most of our leaders also suffer from integrity issues, research, technology, innovation, and inventions by our great continent. Africa, we have the brains, we have the manpower, we have the intellectuals and the capacity to do this. All we need to do is unite in one force, in one spirit, and in one vision. Let's make those who fought for our independence, for the Pan-African freedom, proud in their graves.